What's up, world? Um, MC, let's talk. I don't know what episode this is. I apologize. We're shooting this fairly late. um, and my eyes hurt, so kind of out of it. Anyway, this is MC Let's Talk, title Sex Drive slash Sexpectations. Um, if you don't understand what that means, obviously, sexual expectations in either relationships or in marriage. How do you feel, babe, in regards to either one of them? I'll start.
I mean, you didn't even give them what is it? What are we
And
talking about?
sex drive doesn't
Alright.
matter. Does the sex
That's
drive matter in marriage?
marriage, sure.
Or I'm sorry, just relationships. Yeah, yeah.
Right. It matters. Oh boy. Okay, so sex drive matters
Gotta bring it
because
up. I can't hear you.
sex drives matter in relationships because it's weird, I guess, where one partner can be less satisfied if the other partner's sex drive is lower than theirs. So that's one way, right?
Okay.
And sex expectations.
Wait, no. Stay on sex
No?
drive. Like I just read something. I was on Facebook, and I don't remember the full story, but um, basically, like it was some lady. She was talking about her husband, and she was saying something like, we have three kids, and after the third kid, I guess her sex drive went up. Excuse me, to where she wanted it a lot more and a lot more. Meanwhile, her husband, he's working two jobs. He, waking up at 4 a.m. 5 days out the week, yada yada yada. So, he's tired basically all the time. So a lot of times that she would be trying to get some, he wouldn't be with it just off of sheer tiredness or
And
whatever.
cheating. No, never mind. Just like,
Off of sheer tiredness or whatever the case is or whatever. And it got to a point where she was like contemplating separating from him or whatever. So even though like
you
I would
okay?
say
You need something in here?
probably I'm semi-sick too, but even though he's like, I would say his so-called reasons for saying no is somewhat valid. I mean, if he's really working as much as she say and he's
No.
not cheating. Wait, let me get it out. Let me get it out. You know, is that cause for separation? Like, because that sounds like an extreme to me. I mean, I'm not in a relationship, but, obviously to her, well, in any relationship, sex is a big deal, or you would think it's a big deal. And for her, it's to the point where she's like, well, I'm contemplating separating from said guy because I want it and he ain't giving it to me.
Okay, several things. So, first and foremost, sex is not a 100% of the relationship.
Correct.
So if that's the only thing that's wrong in their relationship, I don't see why separation would be the answer. The other thing would be, I don't feel like working too much
It's a valid
is a
reason.
valid reason for why you cannot make love to your wife. It's the same person who gave you 3 kids. It's the same person that probably take care of all 3 of those kids while you're at work. It's the same person that is tired and overworked as well from taking care of those 3 kids. I'm just saying, hypothetically, right? So y'all both on the same tired wavelength, and she's still horny. So I mean, it makes sense to just, I mean, give her what she needs. Take 5 minutes. I don't know. I don't know too many men that will not accept, it from a person that they love and care about. If just to say no, that's not a good reason.
I don't think he's just saying no.
Tired's not a good reason. Like, you know how many men be tired and still go in?
That doesn't matter. Let me tell you. All right, let me give you this. Let's say the guy holds himself to a certain standard or quality of performance, right? For instance, you think of products that you buy. If it's a well-known brand, they won't go beyond or below a certain grade of product because they stand for what their product is, means, da 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 da, right? If said guy, and this is just hypothetical, if said guy is used to giving grade A material in the bedroom, but he knows that he can't give grade A material in the bedroom because he's tired, but he don't want to give you grade C or D or F because that's going to mess up his whole resume. How is that not valid?
It's not valid because sex is 50-50. It's not 100% on the man to.
All these girls
No,
ain't out
no,
here throwing
no,
it right.
and no. Like, regardless of the fact, it's 50-50. I'm in charge of how I feel and how you feel. You're in charge of how you feel and how I'm feel. It goes both ways. You know what I mean? So my 25 of me, my 25 for you. And the same goes. You know what I mean? So like if you don't have your 50 to give, maybe you only got 5. You know what I mean? Like, and your wife talking about, yeah, I want it, let me get it. Babes, just relax, sit here. You know, all I need you is to be something hard, and that's good. You know what I mean? And I'll do the rest. Don't worry about it.
So when should sex drive be a topic in a relationship?
When the other partner is not.
No. Before that, I'm talking about like when should it even be mentioned? Because
I think that should happen well in the beginning of the relationship, and not only in the beginning, throughout the relationship, because just like she said, after the third child, her sex drive changed. That happens a lot with women, and it could go the other way.
Right.
For example, that happened to me. Like I wanted it all the time, and then I had my son, and then bam, I didn't want it at all. Cold turkey. Don't touch me.
Cool.
It makes me sick. You know what I mean? Like.
But what I'm saying is, that ain't the guy's fault.
That's not the guy's fault. But if your wife is coming to you saying, "I need this,"
Mm-hmm. There
it
should be some
is
compromise
your
there.
job as the husband
Correct.
or the partner in the relationship to be like, what am I willing to do to meet my partner in the middle some way? So, you know, at some point you're going to have to do something. So, and if she's feeling like to the point where she wants to leave because she can't have sex, that's a little immature. But
Now let me ask you this: do you think it's an insecurity? Just using their situation as a template for all my questions. Do you think that there's an insecurity on her part for the
it
fact?
could be
Because I'm just saying, like normally it comes with I don't feel attractive anymore. My husband doesn't want me.
it's a lot of
yeah.
stuff, especially if you just having a kid. Having a child changes you emotionally, physically, spiritually. Like it changes your whole.
Gods.
Huh?
What are you talking about spiritually?
Women. It changes women.
You spiritually?
Everything. It just changes everything. Some things come back together and it comes back right. Other things never come back. Something I hated when I was pregnant, for example, is Axe body spray.
You said spiritually.
I'm just saying. Let me finish, right?
Go ahead.
So, you know what I mean? Like, something like that may have triggered me during pregnancy, but to this day, I can never smell that and think it smells good because it makes me nauseous, right?
Okay.
So
it kind of scarred you mentally or whatever.
Yeah, but it is stuff like that, little things like that you don't realize that can never go back to being that way, being how it was before that experience.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So for women, it's a lot. I think it adds to the intimacy of having sex when it comes to whether your mate is attracted to you or not. So if there's a deeper issue to whether he believes that he can't have sex with her because It's not just that he's tired. Maybe that's the excuse he's giving her. It could be, something's going on with him to where he doesn't even want to, you know? So I think it's more of a communication issue than
All of it is communication.
all of it. Yeah,
Okay.
of course. All of it is a communication issue because at the end of the day, I'm not going to leave you because you don't want to have sex with me. You know what I mean? Like, there's other ways. If she feel like he won't have sex with me, well, I'm going to get off right next to him while he laying there so he can see I'm going to get mine whether you want to. You know what I mean? Like, whether you see it or not, I'm going to get mine. So, I mean, there's so many different facets of how you can approach the situation. That's a little petty or immature, I guess. But
I wouldn't call it petty.
talking.
That's not petty to me. That's not petty. I don't know the word, but that's not petty to do that. That's just kind of like,
All right, well,
for real.
let me get mine. Like,
Okay, so ultimately, can a person with a high sex drive and a person with a low sex drive find common ground and be in a relationship if everything else is clicking on all cylinders besides one with a high sex drive and one that's on the low side of life?
I want to say yes, as long as communication is met on both ends. The person who wants it all the time versus the person who doesn't want it that much. You know what I mean? Like, a person that doesn't want it that much, like, look, I can meet you in the middle. If you want it 3-4 times a week, I can give you 3-4 times a week, but let me have this in exchange.
I think it depends on gender.
It does depend on gender.
Because, I mean, a guy with a low sex drive, it's a little bit harder for him to, I mean, unless he's taking pills of some sort, you can't just go and get it from him, at least dick-wise or penis-wise, being politically correct. Because if he ain't hard, what you doing with him? You know what I mean? Besides using some other type of body part, fingers, toys, mouth, whatever, as opposed to a girl with a low sex drive, there's lube. You just lube her up. Wax on, wax off. You still can rock. Now, obviously, she might not be into it, which would suck, but there's ways around it more so than a guy, unless he decides to use medicine.
Like having sex with a dead person.
Yeah, like a dead fish. But the segue, because I kind of spoke on it with that product thing, Sexpectations. Do you have any going into a relationship? And if you do, when are those spoken on? When it comes to getting in a relationship with a person?
I think for me, I don't know. I mean, I want to say, yes, you speak on it in the beginning, of course, right? Some conversations, especially sex conversation, may lead to a different type of conversation. It may come off as if you want to have a dirty conversation, which some people feel like just talking about sex, period, is dirty. So, it just depends on what type of questions and how comfortable each party is in talking about sex. Because some people are, they'll do it, but they are embarrassed or shy to express how they feel when it comes to having sex. So,
okay, here's
for,
what go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
For me, I think it's important to establish those expectations early because the worst thing for me is to be disappointed. Get your hopes up and thinking it's going to be something and it's not.
Can I cut you off real quick?
Sure.
I think that's where people mess up. I think not speaking on it before actually engaging in it is where people mess up because it's like in your head, you got all ideas of what you want, what you like, what makes you feel good, X, Y, Z. And you go into it just hoping that the other party is going to meet those expectations or your checklist that person's not even privy to before y'all get into it. So y'all both go into a bedroom, wherever y'all go and have sex or whatever the case is, and then whatever happens, happens. And if that person happens to knock off your checklist in a good way, great. But if not, then you're disappointed. But it's almost like you're going in there flipping a coin, as opposed to maybe, just maybe, if it was spoken on beforehand, hey, I like this, I like that, this gets me off, whatever the case is, does that person have a better or even a fighting chance at when y'all go into that bedroom, him knocking your boots off right away?
No, not necessarily.
Why not?
Because you can tell somebody this is what I like, and they do completely the opposite.
Right, but that's on them now.
Right.
I'm speaking to the expectations of you. I'm speaking to the person who's, oh well, I hope this
Well,
goes what I
that
hope
yeah,
for.
that makes for a better experience. That's for example, that's like um TMI, but like if you're getting head and you move the girl head or the guy head to where it feels better, and then you're able to climax. Now, if you move their head and they go somewhere else, and you're like, no, go back. You know what I mean? Like it starts to become a power struggle and stuff like that, and it's kind of like it's not fun. Like if I gotta tell you what to do or how to do it, it then defeats the purpose of sex, because I wouldn't say it defeats the purpose of sex. It doesn't. That's too far. That's too far.
Go ahead.
I think it more so will leave you feeling like you did not, or I don't even know what's the word I'm looking for.
You did not complete the mission.
Yeah, like like you didn't complete the mission, like.
Why not?
Or like you wasn't completely satisfied.
You go into any store, you go to any restaurant, you go up to the counter, whatever the case is, you order exactly what you want. I want this, no onions. I want this, extra ketchup. I want this, no cheese, right? And they give you your product, right? You get what you asked for.
Quality.
Right. But you also still get what you add. You're still giving it. Now, the food still might suck, right? But you still have what you asked for to a degree, right? As opposed to you going in the store and saying, yo, give me what you got. They just hear. And then you're like, oh, I don't even like that. Why wouldn't you do the same thing when it comes to being pleased physically? They might mess up. They might not even have the proper equipment to get the job done. That's a whole nother. Because, I mean, with females, I'm sure you'll have expectations about size and stuff too. So they might not even have the proper toolage to get the job done. So they're already got that going against them. Why not give them something before they go into that bedroom? Now, mind you, most guys aren't going to receive it well. This is the other side of the coin. Most guys won't receive it well because we have something called ego and pride that's in the way. You come to me telling me, oh, well, I like it like this. You need to do it like this. Our brains would say, oh, well, what, I ain't doing it right? Like we got to fight that wall of what you're trying to say. You know what I mean? So I think for guys, it's important for us to kind of get out of our own way and understand that it might not be a knock to how we give it up, but every female is different. If you had sex with two females, it's a good chance that they didn't like it the exact same way. Maybe they did, but it's a chance that they might not have liked the exact same way. And I think if you come in, kind of like what Bruce Lee said, like be like water, you gotta like be able to just flow with things like that. I think you'll have a better chance of pleasing more women as opposed to going in there and striking out every time you go in there because you just got your set template of, all right, I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and it might have worked for girl one, but girl three might think that you trash. You know what I mean? It's just because you was doing the same old thing that you thought was cool or what gets you off, and she in there thinking that you the worst guy she's ever been with or whatever. So I just think it's important with Sexpectations to be brought up somewhere early. I mean, it doesn't have to be before you actually have sex or whatever. If you like the guy or you like the girl, it should be somewhere close to that beginning mark. And I think it depends.
I don't necessarily feel like it has to be at the beginning. I think it has to be like throughout because you.
Well, yeah, you change. Correct.
You know what
but
I mean? Like
as you wherever you start at, like.
But not only that, like I don't want to get into the. I don't want to make the point that if I told you this is what I like, this is what I want you to do. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
For clarity purposes. I don't, because ultimately you want that experience to be between y'all.
Mhm.
You don't want I don't want to have stuck in my head all these great experiences I had with whoever else, and these are the things I liked from it. This is what I want you to do, and you do that. Like, I need you to be you, bring your oomph to the table, and then
Yeah, well, that's the other side of it, though. There might be things that this new person does that you like that you didn't know you liked. They might
right.
take you to a new level, or whatever the case is. Cool.
So then on that aspect, is it even a good thing to even set those boundaries of what your
I don't
expectations
think
are?
they're boundaries. I don't think they're boundaries at all. To me, boundaries say, all right, you can only do these things because this
Like,
is what
don't
gets
touch
me
my
off.
butt.
Right. Like, it's like, all right, well, I can only do this and everything outside of this, don't do. I think it's more like a guideline of, well, hey, this is what I like. Do what you will, because we just spoke on that. They might do the actually opposite of everything that you told them. Do what you will. This is what I like. And whatever past relate, you ain't got to get that deep in the conversation, but whatever experiences I might have had before you, this has been what got me there. You know what I mean? And of course, you don't got to word it like that, but you can give them some type of, instead of going in there
No, I
blind.
think that's lazy.
Lazy on whose part? On
On
the guy's part or the
yeah,
girl's part?
the other person who's being told that.
How is that lazy
I,
on
I, I don't know.
them? Explain the laziness.
I think it could go both ways. Like, I'm straddling the fence here
No, I'm just
on
saying,
this
like,
one.
explain the laziness part. Like, why is that lazy?
Because
Because
like
the guy doesn't have to do
a
anything.
part of you in experiencing that,
You're looking
I feel like you tarnishing
exploration part.
the yes, the intimacy of it, the not really knowing, but I'm gonna try this
Okay.
to see where it goes, and it might even surprise the person that's doing it. You know what I mean?
So you go in that bedroom and he strikes out horribly.
Then nah,
Wait.
you're good. You're
No,
done.
wait.
Time out.
Time out. He goes in there, he strikes out horribly, right? Does the guy get a second chance? Because, I'm only asking because with a lot of girls, it's this whole, oh, he was horrible. And I'm not saying every girl, but then the girl goes and tell her homegirl, like, girl, he fine, but he trash. And it becomes a whole thing, right? Does that person that struck out because you didn't tell him anything, so he went out, y'all explored each other, and he just crapped out, does that person get a second chance? Do you even tell him after he struck out, hey, look, by the way, you know what? Didn't like what you did. I like it this way. Or whatever. Do you tell him then?
I mean, okay, from my perspective, because I'm the type of person that'll tell you, right? So I'm gonna tell you, nah, bruh,
You're going to tell him right after.
yes.
And then what?
And then it's up to him to be like, all right, well, that wasn't my best. Let's bring it to the table. That wasn't my best work. You know what I mean? Like, I apologize. Let's go again.
I don't know too many
Or
guys who will receive that well.
I do.
I don't.
I know some who have.
I'm not saying.
But I'm just
not
saying, regardless of that fact, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm
it's
just,
the
I can't see a guy like, I can't see many guys like, y'all have sex with him, you be like, bro, no. Like that. You know what I mean? Like, no, dog, that ain't it. Like that sound great. I mean, like especially, here's the thing, especially if homeboy thinks he knocked it out the park. Girls are very good at faking and lying, and making something seem like you did that you didn't do.
very true. But if it's bad, if it's absolutely bad, where it's like, if he don't have anything else to bring to the table, then there's nothing else. You know what I mean? Like, people have sex with people for all these different reasons. So it just depends on what your reasons for having sex with the person is. So if you're in a relationship with the person and it's bad, then that's on you to figure out with your partner how to make that
Well,
work.
y'all got to the relationship part,
Then
obviously I would think that y'all gotta figure it out. I was kind of more so concerned with before you
just
got
before
there.
you even
Yeah,
got
like,
to the relationship
yeah,
part.
somewhere within the first sexual encounter. You know what I mean? Just because I would think that that's
So-
where your expectations are. You know
But
what
what
I
if
mean?
you're in a relationship before the first sexual encounter?
I mean, you got to go off of what goes. I mean, if you never, I mean, because there are some relationships where you don't have sex. I know people who don't have sex until marriage. So you
Right.
just kind of go off of whenever that first time happens. If you're already in a relationship, cool. But I think the plan still stands.
Yo, let's talk about the wait until you marry to have sex. I know we switching gears, but
We are. I don't agree. Oh, well, let me change that because that's going to come off crazy. I'm not going to say I don't agree. I'm going to say, for me, I can only speak for me. I think it's foolish. I think, and it's kind of, I think it's foolish.
Speaking of my
Only
opinion.
because I think you need to know. I put sex somewhere high up on the list in relationships, right? Especially in marriage, because you're going to be with this woman. If you honor the marriage and you plan on it being your only marriage, you're going to be with this woman for the rest of your life, right? Or guy, vice versa, whatever, for the rest of your life. For you not to sample the product before you buy the product that you're going to have for the rest of your life, I think is bonkers. I think it's one of the craziest things you can do, because then you sample said product and it's trash. Now, what most people will say was, oh, well, you can teach them how to make you feel good. Yeah. But when, again,
Sexpectations.
but what if that person doesn't have the adequate toolage to do it?
For men, for women, that's the woman problem.
But
That's
I'm just
not
speaking
necessarily
you know,
the
I'm just
man
speaking. I'm just
problem.
speaking in general though, because I know women who said the same thing. I don't want to have sex until married, or whatever. You marry a guy and he's like this big.
No, I mean that's what foreplay and all that other stuff is before marriage. You could touch people before marriage,
I'm just going off.
so
of
you
somebody.
know what's there. It's something there.
Oh,
You know what I
this
mean?
is something. It's just might not be enough to get you there. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, like, I think that's personally freaking crazy. Shout out to anybody who's done it, and you might pick a winner. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't buy a car before I hopped in it and seen how it drove. I got to see that, because I'm going to be with that.
But even if you do, I mean, it goes both ways though. In both instances, because like even if you test drove the product, you take
You might
it
not like
home and it's a freaking lemon.
Right. Okay. But you still drove
Now
it.
now you married to this thing,
You still drove it though.
and you're like, whoa. I don't want nobody who fart while they having sex with me.
Yeah.
You know, like that's their thing. They just fart every time.
But you still drove it,
Yeah.
is my
And then there'd be bad, like mood destroying farts. Like what? What's like what? What's happening here?
Has
Like
that ever happened to you, or so? Is that an experience?
no, I know that happened to somebody I knew.
Okay. Well,
And
I don't even want to know. I don't want to know.
no, not the. It happened while it wasn't like a consistent thing. I think it was the first and the last time. Like, because
Shout
it
out
was
to you,
like,
homie,
no.
whoever you are. The point is, you still test drove it, even if it's a lemon. If it is a lemon, you can then say, you know what, I love this person enough to where I'm going to teach her how, or teach him how to get us to that point. You know what I mean? Like, but if you don't even know what the person is working with, like you don't even know the raw material that this person got, you're closing your eyes and walking through a door, you might hit the wall. You know what I mean? So it's like, go for it if that's how you feel. A lot of it's because of religious beliefs and all that. I'm not knocking anybody who goes for it that way. It's just, for me, no. If I'm going to marry you, I'm going to put a ring on your finger. Best believe I'm test driving.
I mean, I believe in God.
But, because that's the butt covering, but go ahead.
I believe in God. I believe in the principle of waiting till you're married. I didn't fall that way in my life because it's the human nature. in me, the man.
Don't dress
It's
this
the
up.
man in me that made
Don't
me
dress it up.
want to test drive the product too.
Don't dress it up. Don't dress it up. That's what you're doing right now. You trying to put all this dressing on it. Don't do that. Don't
Did
do
I
that.
let you live? I'll let you live.
No,
All right,
I'm
let me
being
speak my
honest.
mind. I'm being honest too. No, I do. I believe in the principle
I got you.
of the idea of waiting until marriage. I've been celibate before. I've done all of those things. But it's just something about, I've been in a relationship where I waited and then it was just like, all right, I stopped waiting. And then it was like, what in the world was this? I don't believe in the waiting thing no more.
So
Like
you
I
can say
had a
that.
change of heart on the waiting part because of an experience that I had with the waiting part.
So you can say that and not see my point with this expectation.
No, I understand your point.
Okay, continue.
I'm not saying I disagree at all. I just wanted to see it from a different perspective.
I got you. Go ahead.
But my thing was, at the end of the day, it was just like, to each his own. You know what I mean? To each his own.
Each his own.
But one thing you have to do when you're not pleased is communicate. And if you're not mature enough or willing to communicate, or is it worth communicating with that person, then
If that person isn't willing to receive constructive criticism on how to please you, you need to question more than that sex altogether. Because
Agreed.
bottom line, this is all about pleasing each other. This all falls somewhere within compromise and everything else. So you got to almost like look at it outside of sex. If this person is so gung-ho about not hearing you out on how to please you and make you happy, because at the end of the day, an orgasm makes everybody happy. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the things to where, see if that person is even willing to acquiesce to what you ask for, if you're willing to ask for it.
right, it has to do with compatibility. Your compatibility has to be there.
Right, because you
can't
might
have
be the bomb to somebody
Right.
and trash to the next person. You know what I mean? So that
Very true.
You gotta talk to them.
Not only that, you can't be selfish. You can't be selfish in bed. I think that's the number one. That's the number one thing when it
I'm
comes
gonna get
to.
mine and you be.
Yeah, like don't be that I'm gonna get mine type of person. If that's the kind of tip you on when it comes to in a relation, I'm gonna say in a relationship. If you're not in a relationship, you do what you want to do.
Right.
But in a relationship or in a marriage, don't be on the I'm gonna get mine tip, because ultimately at the end of the day, your mate is not gonna be pleased because it's gonna look selfish.
Fair enough.
Do what you want. What is it? Doing to others.
What you want done to you.
Yep.
That's fair. Again, this all falls around broken record. All falls around communication. You got to talk. And if y'all don't want to talk to each other, y'all probably shouldn't be sleeping with each other anyway. So figure that part out. But y'all have to talk, whether it's about what you like and or need in the bedroom, because for some people out there, it's a necessity. It's one of them things to where if they ain't getting it, they gonna go get it. You know what I mean? And why are you leaning on me? Are you one of those necessity people?
Whoa,
I'm
buddy.
just asking. Are you a
Is
necessity?
it a necessity for me?
Let's hear. It is. I mean,
It's a necessity.
'cause that's what you
am
hear.
I one of those persons that would people that would go out and get it? No, I'm gonna go in. If you in the room laying in the bed, I'm gonna go take it. That sounds like rape, but it's not. It's my husband.
It's rape. It's still. You can
it's
rape
mine.
your husband and
No,
you can
he's
rape
gonna
your wife.
he's gonna be a willing participant.
I forgot what I was saying.
See, you
No,
asked.
no. No.
Is it a necessity? That's what you said.
Yeah, like
Yes, it's a necessity.
I hear people say all the time, like, we have needs. That would make it a necessity. You know what I mean? So everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to feel attractive to somebody. So I would assume that it is a need to a degree. Just like you said, for some people though, I think they have self-control and others don't. And then there's other people who just want what they want, forget self-control. I'm just gonna go get it from whoever's gonna give it to me, or whatever. But I definitely think it's a need and a necessity for everybody, to be honest. If you're having sex, if you're not having sex, you don't know what you're missing. But if you are, I think, it's
Shout out to these virgins out here.
yeah. Shout out to y'all. Keep it for as long as you can. I would say that you're not missing something, but you are missing something. You're missing a lot. But I can't tell you when to do it. Do it whenever you feel ready. But when you do it, you're welcome, because you're gonna, hopefully, because I can't. Hopefully, you're gonna like what you get. Probably not the first time. Sometimes that's a choppy feeling, but second or third time, you'll fall right in line with the rest of us heathens. So
Practice makes perfect, you know.
correct. So shout out to y'all. I'm definitely we're not endorsing or trying to sponsor people to go out there and have sex if y'all not ready. If y'all wait until marriage, do so. That's all up to you guys. We just want you guys to communicate and talk to each other.
We about to have a mad long list of disclaimers.
Yeah.
Don't watch if you're under 18.
Yeah. No, I don't. I just don't want y'all thinking that we're saying go out there and get it in. You know what I mean? Like, just more so than anything else, we want y'all to talk somewhere within y'all getting it in, because communication might turn good sex into great sex off of a few words. You know what I mean? Like, so it could
Right there. That's a good word. That's a good place to start. Sorry.
Yeah, literally though, like one sentence or two sentences could change both of y'all lives. You know what I mean? So don't be so closed-minded to where y'all not willing to please yourselves more by helping your mate please you.
Right. You ain't got to be a drill sergeant.
Yeah, don't do it like that. Don't make it a job.
Yeah.
Don't make it a job.
Just
Just make it fun. You can do it while having sex. And somehow you can make it fun. Girls, y'all got little sexy voices, moans and all that. Like, there's ways to make it to where a guy is willing to do it more if you put it in a different
package
tone.
it up real pretty.
Right. It's not what you say, but how you say it type of thing.
That Valentine's Day pretty outfit,
For the same product. But yeah.
On October 31st, you know what I mean?
Why October?
I don't know, I just picked a day.
Halloween? That's when you...
It's not, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, change the day.
It matters
Not
not.
everybody celebrate Halloween.
Well, you said dress it up, so I thought you was trying to make it seem like you going to dress up there.
Yo, I didn't put two and two together, babe. I didn't even think about that. I never
So
changed my mind.
So
June
you got bars
7th.
and you don't know you got bars? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently.
Whatever,
Apparently
dog.
I'm nice.
I don't want this to be drawn out because we're drawing it out, but get out there, talk to each other, have great sex.
Share the video if you like it. Comment. Open up the communication and tell us what your Sexpectations is. You don't have to go all the way deep in it.
Go deep into it. Tell us what exactly you want out in this world without compromising your relationship. So I don't want you telling us exactly how you like it, but tell us if you cannot make it so detailed. Tell us what you want out of life when it comes to Sexpectations or whatever, because I'd like to hear it. I mean, because I don't think everybody's just the same. I mean, sex, you can do a lot of stuff with two humans. So let us know, and we will be getting back to you guys shortly. See you soon.